Well, hello, and welcome to the H.E.A.L podcast. Join two real life friends and professional women on a journey of self discovery, growth, and healing. Together, we explore what it means to unpack life's challenges, embrace self awareness, grow in our spiritual practice, and navigate healing one honest conversation at a time. This is not a space for giving advice, but rather a place to share tools, tips, and reflections that have inspired us along the way. Whether you're looking for clarity, connection, or curiosity driven dialogue, you're in the right place. Let's hold each other accountable with love as we grow together. Welcome, ladies.
Welcome.
Hey,
Happy Monday. Hey,
It's Monday.
Jasmine. Okay, so how we gonna work this out? Because we got two Jasmine, so we got to figure out how we're gonna do this to make sure the audience
I
knows
mean,
which
you can
Jasmine
call me
I'm talking
Sherelle
about.
for the day if you want. You can call me Jay
All right.
Sherelle. It's okay.
Okay, we'll do Jay
I'll
Sherelle.
give up my name for the day.
All right, so for the listeners and the watchers, the co-host, Jasmine with a Z, aka Jay Sherelle. She's gonna be Jay Sherelle today. And then Jasmine with
I
an S.
appreciate you.
No problem. And then Jasmine with an S. How do you pronounce your handle? Because I never knew how to pronounce it.
Peacocky.
Bukaki. Okay.
You want to give us a backstory of why you chose that name?
It's Jasmine in Hawaiian.
Cool. Okay. I learned something new today. Bukaki. Okay. So we're going to call you Jasmine today. And so Bukaki 617 is Jasmine for this episode. And then co-host Jasmine is Jay Sherelle. For our listeners, I hope I can keep up. We'll figure it out because I'll call them Jasmine every other day. So we're trying to make it smooth for everybody else who's listening, like audio wise. They're like, there's two Jasmines. How we gonna do this? So okay, that's so cool though. Okay, now I know. I learned something new today. Cool.
Whew, every day is a new day of learning,
ain't it?
I said I'm gonna stop using the word tired.
And replace it with what?
I don't know. I don't know yet because I'm trying. I'm really focused on not using the word exhausted and tired because I feel like I use it too much because I just been really tired and exhausted for a very long period of time. So I'm trying to figure out another way to preface that. Did y'all peep how she went right into like social worker mode?
I was about to tell on you.
Did y'all peep that? Like, did y'all peep that?
And I was ready to tell on you because Jasmine, Jay Sherelle was on a group call a little earlier today, and she was like, "It's terrible." I said, "Is it really terrible though? Like, let's stop using these strong words." So I want you to know that. I checked her on that. I was like, "Is it really terrible or just challenging? It's a little different than what you're used to. It's not terrible."
So, I thought I have it.
I mean, you do use strong. You use strong descriptive words.
I'm a very descriptive kind of person. And sometimes, and I'm also a Cancer, and I know sometimes I could be a little dramatic. It's because I don't do that. Don't do that, Miss Flipping Tables. Don't do that.
I see one thing about me, I live in my truth. There's no question about whether or not I'm dramatic.
I'm a writer, right? So, like I really appreciate language. And I'm a fan of words.
You do.
She's a fan of words. Strong words.
I'm a really big fan of words. I love language. I love human behavior. I love language. But I do realize that sometimes I can overuse and oversimplify like the words that I'm really trying to like get across or the emotion I'm trying to explain. Because I think when I say I'm tired, people understand what I mean exactly. I don't have to give them a complete dissertation of what's happening with me. If I say I'm tired, oh, this bitch tired. She leave her alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or if I say I'm exhausted, it's like that I just don't have no energy for no extra shit. I don't got you know what I'm saying? I don't gotta explain much, but I'm gonna dig in. I'm gonna tap in.
But I guess the question is, when are you using the word tired and exhausted? Is it literally say like, are you saying about everything, or just like, hey, Jazz, how you feeling today? I mean, it's okay to be tired.
No, absolutely. So it's two things. I'm being very transparent with y'all. When I look at the totality of what I've been experiencing consistently for the last 24 months, on some real shit, I'm exhausted. I am tired. Like I really am. Like I am mentally, emotionally exhausted. However, I'm also optimistic. So I'm having like this duality of experiences at the same time.
Right.
And then sometimes I just be triggered because like something will happen and it'll just be like, like, you know what I'm saying? And it'll remind me of like the totality of everything that I'm trying to line up, that I'm trying to be, you know, that I'm trying to be responsible with. So sometimes that is exhausting.
I think adulthood is a state of perpetual tiredness and exhaustion.
Like,
so it's like I'm good in addition to being tired.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I am blessed and highly favored because, baby, it could be so much different.
Right. That's the part.
Very true.
Very different. And
so like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to like figure out. I'm working because I've been writing a lot more. And I've been reading a lot more than I have in a while, and I'm really, really trying to find descriptive words that really, really resonate with how I'm feeling in the moment, rather than just saying I'm tired or I'm exhausted.
Yeah, because you want to.
And I'm okay. Because okay is not really true either. It depends on, you know, what time of day you ask me.
That's fair. I think this kind of goes back to the I don't have capacity. When I had said something to you about.
So you want to share that with the people since you brought it up.
What was it? Jasmine would, similar to this, like continuously say, like, I don't have capacity. And I asked her whether that you don't have capacity or this is just not something you want to dedicate your energy to. Those are two different things. I don't want to deal with this is different than I don't have capacity.
That's right.
So she you know, she made me realize that. And in that realization, I'm more honest when I say I don't want to do this.
Right.
I don't want to put any energy into this anymore. You know what I mean? So I lead with that understanding now rather than saying I can't do this. I don't got the capacity. Because I do have the capacity. I just
don't want to do it.
I don't want to.
Right.
Yeah. I'm leaving. I'll see you later. And that's where that came from last week, Kiki, when I was like, your capacity will have you without me. Like that's where that frame of reference like even came forth for myself. Because I don't want to do this. And your capacity looks like you can't or you don't want to. So then, you know.
Well, or will you do it for the right person? Because sometimes it's like, for some people, do you not want to do it at all? Depending on what we're talking about, right? But like,
yeah, I mean, you know,
all, like work. I don't want to do this task. I don't want to do it. But it's part of my role. So I want to tap in and lean in to figure it out. You have to take a step and come back to it. Or when it comes to maintaining relationships or having a conversation with somebody, I don't want to do this right now.
Yeah.
We can have it at some point, but I don't want to do it right now.
Right.
That's a thing, you know? But even talking about like when someone asks me, how are you? Jerome has a way of, my brother Jerome has a way of just saying like grateful. Like, because you can like, you don't have to say you're okay or not okay, but maybe just like finding a way to still kind of be, because we're still like, there's still a level of gratitude even in existing in all these dualities of being exhausted and not okay, but still yet grateful. So maybe it's different and encouraging and find a different way to respond as you're looking for new ways, like maybe just saying something that a different word, a scripted word, like I'm grateful. And that just that kind of it brings a level of positivity to it. And then every people think, oh, you're choosing to be optimistic in a way. Like we know there's challenges and stuff going on, but maybe there's a different way in which you can respond to that question.
Yeah. But see, so two things. I totally agree. You know, I'm a word person. So for me, when I hear I'm grateful, okay, you're grateful for what's happening. It doesn't necessarily signal to me that the person is being optimistic about the totality of things. It's like in this moment, I'm grateful for what it is. Right.
Okay.
So, but that's just my mind, right? So that's just like for me. It's kind of like, you know, like growing up, people be like, how you feeling? Like, oh, I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm blessed every day. I'm blessed whether I'm going through hard things or soft things. Like no matter what's going on, I'm blessed.
Right.
I don't feel good right now is a little bit different. So that's what I'm really trying to figure out, like for myself. I like the grateful thing.
I think it's interchangeable. Grateful or blessed could be either way. It's like just keep it there, surface level. It don't gotta be. I mean, you're unpacking a little more than I really wanted you to. Just more like
because you knew who you was talking to when you brought it up. I mean, do I ask you to be anybody other than yourself, Kiosha? Kiki?
But I also gonna tell you stop Jasmine in a moment. They stop Jay Shirley in a moment. Just say full stop. I'm grateful. Period. Full stop. Let's get unpack it. Okay, she's grateful. Great. Let's move on. It's Tuesday.
So this week I'm optimistic. That's what I am this week. This week I'm.
That could be your response this week. You can change it up. Make a list. Make a response list. That could be a good challenge for you.
I just said I've been working on it. Was you not listening? I'm very serious. Like I've really been working on different words to use to describe what I'm experiencing.
I wasn't sure it was like he was thinking about it. Or he was actually doing it.
Like it's kind of unfair.
I don't know. I didn't know what working on it meant to you. Just like you said, you didn't know like saying grateful could mean a lot of things. You're a word person, so I don't know what you mean working on it. You have to define what that means. It could have just been you brainstorming. I know you're probably making a list. Jeez.
Y'all are funny.
And it's just Monday. Monday.
You got a break from me because I gave you I hadn't really been, I was kind of MIA when I was on vacation. And you was on vacation,
I don't need
I'm not saying like a break, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I'll just ignore you if I don't want to talk to you.
Whatever.
All right. So
let's get into
we have Jasmine here today. And me and Kiki have been having some really interesting experiences in our professional and personal and spiritual lives. And sometimes I feel like we're like a living sitcom in a lot of ways. Like this is like, it's comedy. Like I couldn't write a better storyline than what's actually happening right now in our lives. That's how I feel. So
we all are in some sense. I think everyone can relate to that.
Jasmine, do you feel like you're living a sitcom?
Not currently.
Could I just real quick though? I was saying today, because we talked all thing about this. I said I don't know if it's really a sitcom. I think it's just life and just like when you being open to certain things, just opens up different characters. But go ahead.
Do you know what a sitcom means?
No, but the fuck, don't ask me no dumb shit like that. Don't piss me off. Don't start that shit now. What are we doing?
I go back to my original point. We cannot write a better script. Like breathing situational comedy. It goes from drama to comedic relief in like 2.3 seconds. I was dead ass. I said, do you know what it means? And then she just, I'm just saying, like, listen, I'm writing, we are a living sitcom, and I'm going to bring it to life one day. And I keep telling both of y'all that, and y'all are going to develop.
I'm waiting for you to bring it to life.
It's coming.
Space and opportunity.
So, Kiki is a comedy writer.
She is.
Kiki, right, Jasmine?
Yes.
And Jasmine, a monologue. You want to make somebody cry? You want to make somebody rethink their whole life structure? Piss Jasmine off. Piss her off. Or even make her think that you're not thinking clearly. It's over for you. The monologue.
Oh, that you're trying to play me. Don't try to play me. That's the ultimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, she is a living, walking monologue. She be saying something. I be like, what made you put those thoughts in this sequence together? And Kiki, well, I mean, y'all be on this podcast. Y'all see what I see every week.
That's crazy. Let's go back to Jasmine. Because
you need to write comedy.
With Jasmine, you probably already had thought about it some time ago. It was like in a bank of stuff like thoughts. And then when somebody pisses you off, it just comes to the forefront. You already thought about it at some point, do you think? Or it just comes to the brain? It just comes
not really. It usually just comes off the top.
See,
yeah.
I'm an observant one. So like for me, when I rip you a new one, it's because I'm just compiling all the stuff that I compiled in my head as I observed you. Like there's jokes I've had on you already that I just like. I was like, they wouldn't like that. That would be nice. But then when they piss me off, I'm like, you knock me.
No, it just flows, and sometimes I don't even hear it all. So like Jasmine's reaction or response, I'm like, what? Like, what did I say?
Yeah, like somebody recently pissed me off, and I realized I look like Big Bird, and I can't undo it now. But I just
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes I do. Like, I definitely have like waves of thought that takes me down.
a dark rabbit hole.
Yeah. And I don't know where it comes from. It just like suddenly it doesn't have like something doesn't have to happen to trigger it.
Yeah.
If I just have like, I guess maybe too much quiet time, I think about like these different scenarios and how I would respond and what the other person might say. I play this whole thing out in my head. I don't know.
And I just want to say to anybody who's listening, this is why I need to have a strong vocabulary. Because I want to know, did y'all hear what the two people that I'm on this podcast with just communicated? I always got to be strapped and ready. This one got him in the chamber, and this one got a whole blueprint. Like, what's happening right now? What? Yo. Yeah. Y'all are that's that ear sign.
I just wonder because I know like me, I always have in the back of my mind. I'm like I observe stuff and I say something to myself, oh. And then I have a way of flipping it. I can look at something and never think of it negatively, but and then you piss me off or like try to play me, then I want to use those things I observed and like flip it to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, I can do that. But it's like recently my mother was telling me about some show that she was watching on TV. And like the wife ended up catching her husband at a restaurant with somebody else. And when she approached him, he said, I don't know you. And I said, huh? He said, I don't know you. Now, my response was, I will cut off your phone and I'm going to knock off both your side mirrors and flatten your tires. And I'm going to close you out of an account and I'm going to change the locks. Like immediately. Like you don't
know me. You're right.
And it was like, this is one thing after the other. Like, this is exactly what I would do. And your whole life is going to be turned upside down because you don't know me. And I don't have like, it doesn't take a lot to come up with like a plan real quick.
Plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
I'm going to go back to my original point. One thing I can say about me in my professional capacity and based on my life experience, I'm really, really great at identifying what people are really strong at. And I just want to go back to my original point. This one over here should be writing comedy skits, and this one over here should be writing monologues. Because I've never. Y'all are interesting. Okay. So getting to some of these topics we're supposed to talk about today. Because Kiki don't like when we on here too long.
I'll just come to that.
That was a good one. You've been holding that one. That was good.
That popped on the brain. That was a fresh. That was good. Out here.
Good one.
That was a straight route from heaven. It was like, wow. I wasn't in my pocket. That came out.
Do you have anyone live on your page, Kiki? Yo.
Black Ninja. I don't know if they're still here, but hey, you're still on.
All right. So first segment. So we're going to, one of the things I wanted to talk about is a conversation that Kiki and I have been having about when does bad decisions reveal a pattern? And can someone mess up consistently and still be like emotionally safe or somebody that you can trust? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah. So can I give a little more context on the first part? Like, because sometimes I was saying, Jasmine, I was talking to H.E.A.L about this, like, is it a character defect or is it them being a bad decision maker? Like, if someone has done something wrong, or if my experience with them, if I had a bad experience with them, I just think they're a bad person. But someone's like, they just made bad decisions. That doesn't mean they are totally worth like disregarding and throwing out to the trash. But we were just talking about like, does that make them, those patterns of bad decision make them a bad person, or they just really bad at decision making?
I think it depends on what types of decisions they're making, right? Because someone can make poor financial decisions.
Right.
It doesn't make them a bad person. They just don't have good money management habits, right? So I'm not gonna like throw you out because you don't plan your finances well. Someone can consistently make poor decisions that have adverse effects on me. And now I have to determine what does that relationship now look like for us? Because you can make poor decisions that only affect your life, and I can just be like, wow, that's crazy. Or
Yeah, I wouldn't.
that's sad. Or you can also like get tired of hearing somebody talk about their poor decisions that they keep making and they're not looking to make better choices, right? But it still doesn't necessarily make them a bad person. I think it kind of depends on where they're making these poor decisions.
Right. So, like, say, I'm going to be extreme, right? Like child neglect, right? Like you're choosing to do. Even I don't know. That can still be subjective, but like if you feel like you have to leave your. No, yeah, like child abuse. That's a bad decision. You made a choice to hit a child. It's not okay.
Right. But
It's
neglect can look differently, right?
Yeah, so that's why I stopped on that. Yeah.
I need to go to work and I don't have anybody to babysit. And if I don't go to work, I'm going to lose my job.
Yeah. That's why I paused
on it. So I left my kid home. Yeah. So it's like.
Because that's different because we can look at it as neglect, but it's like, this is my only choice. I don't have no other choice but to leave my child home to make money.
Right.
So that's why I stopped and said, well, maybe that may not be the best way to look at it because to your point, everyone's situation is different.
Right. But abuse is very.
You made
a choice. You made a decision. Yeah. And I don't have any grace when it comes to abuse of children. I think that you should be abused in the same manner in which you abuse them. For however long you did it, I think the same thing should happen to you.
So in the lines of like harmful behavior, not talking about anybody specifically, just talking about the choices. Say someone who may not be physically abusive, but maybe they're emotionally abusive too. Again, you could be like, as even a female, right? I could have a friend who's a great friend, but in relationship wise, she's not good, or they're not good. They're emotionally abusive, or they're manipulative. Where is that balancing act of like understanding that someone's experiencing like romantically can be harmful, but then to me, they're great friends.
Yeah, I think that there's duality, and like both things are true. Yeah. Right? Like they're a great friend to you, and they're also this way to me. Like I have family members that I'm going to be able to give you a completely different experience than somebody else. Like their life, I have family members whose life choices could really adversely affect someone. But I'm going to tell you they're the best thing since sliced bread because that's my experience. You might be hanging from a balcony.
So
both things are true, right? Like they're a monster.
Well, they could be a bad person to you, right? And then they're my favorite uncle, right?
Right.
Well, like
because the treatment is different,
right?
And so I think it's subjective of like sometimes it's subjective of what makes you a bad person. Sometimes people are just bad people to everyone or what their values or beliefs are. Like they're just not a good human.
Right. So okay, go ahead, Jess.
So the other part of that is because this ties into the other part of the thing I wanted to talk about. So when you identify that someone has a pattern of making bad decisions or they cause harm to other people, and you're in relationship with them, right? And we know that two things can be true. You can be one thing to one person and another thing to another person. Is it a healthy practice to have like a moral high ground for who you are in relationship with, whether it's romantically or like professionally or personally, right? So for me, there's certain people that I know that they've done things that I find deplorable. But that's based on my morals and what, the things that I don't waver on. And I can't deal with them beyond a certain point. I haven't communicated to these people, I think you're a terrible, terrible human, but I definitely mitigate how I interact with them because I think they're a horrible human. You know what I mean? And then I've been in this situation where I've been a friend to two people that I know had some challenges in their relationship, right? And I was able to identify what I thought, my opinion of growth points for both people, right? But both of the people crossed a line, right? But here's the thing. From my perspective, the second line got crossed because you went too far. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes for me, it's challenging to be the friend because it's like, well, you kind of deserved it. But at the same time, that's not my place to say what somebody deserves. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think it's challenging sometimes to like be a friend on the outside of somebody who's exhibiting bad behavior in your life. Not be like, yo, that's fucked up. Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Especially if they can't take accountability or responsibility for it, right? Because you can have a different conversation if someone is like, yeah, like I really did make some poor decisions in this situation. I see how I messed this up. I can see why you might be telling me I deserve that. As opposed to like, it wasn't me. It was them. They did everything wrong. I did everything right. You can't have a conversation, like a reasonable conversation with that person. Because and that is the line as a friend, right? And like who you can be completely honest with in your friendship circles and who you just kind of got to be like, okay.
Can I get a different perspective? I'm going from a different angle. So like even for me, there was someone who caused harm to me when I was younger. And I didn't know what they did to me. And my god sister, she was talking about this person, and I was like, hey, you don't know this, but I'm not comfortable with you talking about them, or and let me explain to you why. She said, oh, I didn't know. I was like, it's okay. Like I've always held it in for so long. And everyone, oh, this person's person, but this person caused harm to me when I was younger. And I finally was comfortable, like, yeah, no, can we not talk about that? And this is why. And once I made it clear why, they was like, you got it. You know, it was still different because she wasn't like a friend, but he was somebody that we also grew up with. I never really put out there what he had did to me. And I was like, hey, I used to always kind of like, oh, whatever, they don't know, so I'll let it go. But I got to a point where it's like, you know, I just want to be clear, like, I'm not okay with this person, and this is why. And he was like, oh, got it. Say less. You know, so it's like, because what they did is on that level of like, you know, abuse. So it's like, that's something that you did. That's clearly that was evil. That was something that wasn't, you know, so it's like, but no one ever knew. And they always just held them in a high regard. I was like, yeah, I haven't talked about it, never, but I just want to let you know, like, I don't really want to talk about that person. So they were able to, like, okay, it's different. Like, it's a different thing, but I was able to say, like, that was a poor decision they made, but it also shows there, like, that was harmful on me. So it's a little different, maybe a little, like, deeper, but
yeah, I mean,
like, it's different ways of, like, it's if someone had if you need friends, like your friends dated and somebody fell out, it's a little different. But if something is just like abuse or something that's like way more like, well, man, you went too far. I don't like. I knew of a guy who put his hands on women, you know, and it was like, I can't rock with you. This is something that's a hard no for me. Like pulling out and what bad decision making or, you know, people's experience, but like putting your hands on women, that's what I draw the line for me. Like, I don't care how cool we are, we're not friends.
Yeah.
So I have a question though for both of you.
Okay.
From Jasmine, from a clinical perspective, like if a client, what I'm about to tell you, if a client came to you and tell you, and how would you deal with this? So in Kiki's example, you shared it with someone who then acknowledged and, you know, and accepted your experience and like validated it, right? So I have an experience that I had as a kid with another family member, and it was more of verbal, right? It was a consistent verbal like communication, and it also kind of like created like moments where I was isolated. So much to the point where I'm 45 now, and even when they mention this family member, I'm still not over it. And I don't know if I'll ever be over it. And I remember, and I can tell you, like, I can remember exactly all the situations that happened and the things that they said to me. And the crazy part about it is, I've done well beyond what they had said was going to happen. You know what I mean? I can't, like, I just can't get past it. So much so that when people in my family mention him, I'd be like, y'all know I don't play with, y'all know I don't talk to that man. Y'all know I don't fool with him. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, some of them brush it off, but it's just like, sometimes I wonder, am I the one that's holding on to something? But I also feel like it was never really acknowledged outside of like maybe my grandmother and like one of my aunts. But I don't think that it was ever acknowledged like how much damage he caused, you know, me as a kid with the things that he used to say to me. You know what I mean? And like now as an adult, and I'm talking to my family, and like, you know, we just came back from this trip, and one of my aunts was like, so and so want to go, and I was just like, I ain't putting him in the group chat.
Right.
But that's my experience with him. That's not
them? Do they know the totality of what he's done? Have you ever said to this is why I
communicated it?
Asking. Okay.
No, yeah, I've communicated it. Me and him haven't talked about it. I haven't like said anything to him as an adult about like the way he treated me as a kid. But I realized the other day, like when my aunt mentioned it, like about him coming with us on like a trip, I was like, ooh. I was like, ooh. You know, like just the thought of him makes me like, ugh, fuck this nigga. That's how I feel. And I'm 45. And like everybody know I don't deal with him. And my aunt, like the ones who know, they know, and they don't push, you know. But the idea of us going like on a family trip and him being present, I'm like, oh, I might have to actually engage with this. Like, not on some friendly shit, but I might actually have to have a conversation with him.
So Jazz, what say you on this?
Yeah, as a social worker.
I mean, you can have a conversation, but you're not required to have a conversation with him, even if you chose to share space with him, right? Like, you don't have to have a conversation, and you also have every right not to engage in that space. So, and especially if it's coming to something that you're planning, this is not something that someone else is having and inviting everyone to. Your experience in this situation is something that someone is coming to you saying, hey, let's plan so and so and so. I think in that situation, you very much have a right to say, I'm not going to plan something that this person is going to go. Or, you know, be a part of this situation.
I have a question.
Last thing on this. And this is where sometimes when I say to you, Jasmine, like, why am I like this? Because my initial thought was, I don't want to spoil it for everybody else. Like, I'm not going to not plan it because of this one person. It's like, I'm still going to plan it because we had already agreed to do this other thing. And I know that me and this person we're family. Like, we share the same DNA. We come from the same family line. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't want to create a space where people feel like they have to pick and choose. But I'm like, okay, well, then I have to kind of figure out, I'm going to have to like give disclaimers. Like, listen, I'm planning this, whoever go, but don't expect for me to do something that I don't want to do. And don't expect for me to be in this cool, you know, kiki ha environment with this particular person. And I ain't going front. I did not expect for this to come up today. This is crazy. But there's a part of me that feels like he owed me an apology. Like, I really do feel like he owes me an apology.
I have a question. Do you think if you was to have a conversation, like maybe, because, you know, sometimes I'm not justifying anything he did, But sometimes people don't realize the impact they made, or they would just they're hurt people. I'm not not justify, but like, hey, you know, I want to let you know when you did this did this to me.
Yeah.
Like, give you that space to like, and wonder if, you know, we don't know how you can't control how he's going to respond, but I wonder if you had that conversation, would that be kind of healing for you? That's one part of the question I have since you said that. Another part I was going to raise to you both is like, how would you look at people saying, like, even I talk about the person who caused harm. I think at this point, I could be in the same space with him and I'm probably forgiven, but it's like, at one point, how do you respond to those say, like, taking your power back of like, okay, I've forgiven you. I know that what you said did not, it impacted me, it hurt me, but I'm still who I am. I've been successful. I've proven you wrong time and time again. So at one point, can you say, I can forgive, even if you never have a conversation, and be comfortable? We can create a boundary, like, I don't deal with him at a certain level, but also like work on the part that it's like, doesn't trigger you as much.
What do you think?
I think it's a personal decision, right? Because how something impacts an individual or affects them is now their choice or their responsibility of how they protect themselves moving forward. So that might look like we can have a conversation. And I think even going into a conversation, you have to be able to prepare yourself for a great response and a not so great response, right? Like, don't ever go into a situation thinking that someone is just going to be able to understand and receive everything that you're saying. Yeah. You have to prepare yourself for whatever the outcome is. And if you know that a negative outcome is that you're not ready for that, and that's going to impact you and bring more harm, then I wouldn't suggest a conversation, because you can't dictate and you can't predict where the other person is going to come from or how they're going to respond.
Yeah. My therapist said that to me. Yeah. When I had it for my mom or something, she was like, you got to go into doing this for yourself. You're not going to, you can't determine out. You can't go off and just looking for a certain response from her. You're doing this to free yourself to say, hey, you did this, and that's what it did to me. Like, you doing this impacted me this way. And so, because my biggest thing was like, she's probably never going to say sorry anyway. Don't worry about that. This right now, this practice for you to express yourself. Because like for me, I'll just let things. She's like, this practice is for you to express yourself. Don't get about what you hear from her.
Yeah. I gotta think about that, because like in my mind, I would be fine if we never talked about it, or never talked like never talked about it again. You know what I mean? Like I have my experience, but I wonder, how do I get to a point where it no longer impacts me? Because as soon as somebody mentions his name, it's like immediate. I'm like, ugh.
And that's the part. Like, I don't know. Again, I know you said Jasmine said it's a choice of how you want to do it, but it's like that's the part of like, I feel like there's still a certain power that they hold there, and that's the part. Is like, where's the part of like you take that back? I don't know. I mean, again, it's to each his own. I was wondering, you know, comes to like the healing part of it.
So yeah, I was gonna say, is it something like you've acknowledged it, but is it something that you've actually worked through in your experiences with therapy or anything like that? Or is it just something that exists?
I think it's something that just exists, because I'm gonna be honest with you, and me being in therapy, it never came up. Because as a kid, it was very damaging and it was very hurtful. But because of the truth of the story and how it actually all played out in reality, it's clear that everything you said was false, right?
Right.
But I think I have a problem with people who are mean to children. And I think that's really what I'm pissed about. Like the fact that you were somebody who, you were an older family member that we all kind of like looked up to and respected. And because something didn't work out for you and you got mad at my parents or whatever the case may be, you took that out on a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the other part about it is like, I wasn't even prepared for it, because I didn't even know they had drama. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even know.
You were a kid.
I was a kid. You know what I mean? And so like when it started to happen the first time, I was like, okay, I'm bugging. But then it became very clear. And then when it got like really specific, I was like, oh shit. So what he said as a kid definitely impacted me, and it definitely made me feel some kind of way. But I've accomplished so much since then. It's not about that. But I do think I have a problem with people who are genuinely mean to children. Yeah. And I think that's the part that I can't let go of. Like, you were mean to a fucking kid. Only a kid in your family, and a kid who respected you and admired you. You know what I mean? Go ahead,
I have a thought. What? Because this is from my sister circle, so this kind of as you're talking. Do you think that it may not be healing the connection, but what would you think your inner child would want you to do or need from you to heal that wound? Is a sense like, because the inner child, right? Because like you think about, like when I think about, I'll give you an example. So when I was sexually assaulted, right? This is a different scenario, but it was an impact, right? And I carried it, and the one time I asked for help, I didn't get help, right? So my therapist was able to connect like these other moments in my life where I sought for help and I didn't get it. So I would just get quiet. And then most recently when I had an issue where I was harmed by someone, it wasn't that way, but it was a altercation. I was challenged with speaking up for myself because of my previous experience of speaking up for myself and knowing nothing got done. And I had this internal battle. She's like, you're doing this not just for your present moment, but for that little girl who couldn't speak up for themselves, right? So I had to work through the connection, all that. So like for that little girl, and now you have the power, they can't do that because you can push back and say, no, you're not going to do this. So like, maybe the question is like, what do you feel like you can do for her? That little girl who couldn't speak up because it was about this bureaucracy of like, this is adult and I honor them. You can't say something, but can you defend that little girl now and say, hey, you did this and this is how this impacted me? And while it didn't,
interesting. That's a good question.
It's something to think about and reflect.
No, that's a good question. I like that. I remember when I had graduated with my master's, we had a big barbecue and he came and I was talking to one of my other cousins and he walked up because he's a cousin. He's not an uncle or anything. He's older, but he's a cousin. And I remember he walked up because they were asking me about my master's because I had just graduated. And, and he walked over and he was like, congratulations. And I just looked and I walked away. And, and like, as an adult, I let him know F you as much as like he knows, don't say nothing to me. Like he has there's a very clear, he's not gonna say too much because he knows that
he's still making these small little efforts.
That's what I'm saying. So I never thought about it from the perspective of the little girl in me because I did tell. Like I told, I told.
No one, you told, but still no one gave to you.
No.
Oh, they did.
Him, but he never apologized and he never acknowledged what he did. It was a conversation that we had external of me. So he never
there for the conversations where they said
no, it was like adults because I was still a kid.
So that's a different thing because you never know how they even communicated to him.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So it did even though it was mentioned to him and he knows how I feel about him, he never apologized to me. Or he never acknowledged his behavior to me. So I think maybe that's it. But from the little girl angle, that's really interesting. I gotta think about that. I'm gonna
chew on. Marinate. Go on that for a little bit.
Look, Jasmine, prepare to have that discussion when we have our okay. Prepare to put that in your notes for your next.
I know
I keep telling her I know I'm a case study for her work. I already know I'm a case study. I'll be getting free therapy. Yeah. Listen. Since
I know we went deeper than that talking point went, but I'm glad we went there. But yeah,
no, absolutely. Okay, y'all move on to the next one.
Well, real quick though, no, because on a surface, okay, so because there's 2 parts. I feel like it can go 2 parts because like, say you're meeting someone and you're talking, you want to be a friend, or even it could be friendship, work, or even romantic, and they're talking about when does a bad decision reveal a pattern? So it has to go baggage. When does a bad decision reveal a pattern?
Ooh. When it keeps happening.
Yeah, I'm saying when they're consistently making this bad decision.
But I also think a part of that also is the responsibility on the other person or the partner, right? because sometimes I feel like when we give people grace, because this that ties into the other part, and I think it's something you said earlier, Jasmine. Like when we give people grace and we're understanding, a lot of times we compartmentalize. Well, this situation is this, and this situation is this, but this situation is that. But a lot of times there's a connection.
Yeah.
And that's one of my superpowers, but also I think it's a double-edged sword because I can make a connection from anything. You know what I'm saying? You blink your eye twice, I said that. I see it over here. Why you blinking your eye twice? Every time I use a word that got this letter, like that's how deep my connection. Like I can make a connection. Yeah. So I think sometimes we make too many connections. Yeah. But sometimes we don't make enough.
No, yeah. And that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Because consistency doesn't necessarily look like, to just add on to what H.E.A.L is saying, consistency doesn't necessarily look like they do the same thing in the similar situation all the time. But they may have this same character trait in different situations.
Like being impulsive.
Right. That communicates something differently than I have poor financial habits. Right. Like you have an area in your life in which you need to work on, as opposed to I am always late, whether that's to work and it jeopardizes my finances. I'm late to meet you. I'm late to meet. This says something about how you feel about my time. This says something about how this transcends in different aspects of your life. Do you continuously have negative reactions based off of you consistently being late? Did you get written up? Did you get fired? You have poor decision making when it comes to this, and you're not doing anything to correct it.
Yeah. Is it stagnant in your life? Is it
right?
Progressing to certain levels of your life?
And you still may not be a bad person, but does that work for me?
That part, yeah, that's real.
And then I have to make a decision on the role that you're going to play in my life, if any at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if this is just like transcending through different avenues of your life, this is a consistent behavior pattern that's bigger than I need to work on this, particular issue,
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense. And then the second question Jasmine had raised, and I'll talk about was, can someone mess up and still be emotionally safe?
How did they mess up? Right? Like, what does that mean? Because
subjective, yeah.
Yeah, like, are you consistently dropping the ball with me in my emotions and my feelings? You're not safe. If you are, or even if I can identify that you have consistent behavior patterns of being harmful to someone else, whether by your conversation to me or what I experience and see, that still might not work for me. Because it's like, well, why are you a shitty person to them? Like, why is this even a character trait of yours to be this person? Like, I don't really I don't have a desire to have friendship relationship with someone who acts like this. But
because also, like, what is emotional safety to you, to each person? Like, emotional safety is like, it depends on how you define emotional safety. Like, I can say I've been someone at one point felt that I wasn't emotionally safe for them because they felt I didn't create enough space for them to be emotional. Right? Or like you said, the example is like how someone treats other people, or the way they look at life. Like, if I don't like the way you look at life, like, oh, well, I'm just cheat. Like, people are like the cheat or scam. That's not emotional safety. Like, you are going to treat anybody else like that. I don't like that. That don't make me feel good.
Yeah, right. Like, that doesn't feel safe that you wouldn't do that to me at some point. Like, what's going to stop you from doing that to me?
Yeah, I remember
when you feel like your back is up against the wall, or you feel like you come up against this situation. Yeah, that doesn't make it safe. I don't feel safe because you are consistently nasty to several people. Like,
I would look on life and say, I remember I was on a date with a guy and he was like, oh, someone out me before our house. I hope he's like, that's a slow death. I said, that's a lot. Because somebody outbid you in the house, you wish them a slow death. Whoa, like that I don't feel good when you say that. And I'm not
like that's extreme.
What? That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's like the
or
like
you littered. And I was like, you just littered.
Yeah, like yo. I was like, I can't believe I became this person. Why are you littering?
I mean,
Like,
just throwing it up. You just pass the garbage can.
I don't know.
I thought if my daughter was here, she would judge you right now because, like, why?
I don't know where that came
whole
from.
garbage can. It wasn't a piece of like gum wrapper. It was a whole circular. I was like, you just threw a whole circular on the ground. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what's emotional safety is subjective to everyone's defining what.
Yeah.
That's
like you that give you pause about a person.
Yeah.
Like, why would you throw that on the floor? I'm telling you, littering is a thing with me now, and I don't know where it happened. Why would you just do? It's a garbage can right here.
Yeah, why would you do
that? Yeah, but it brings me back to that guy on social media. It was this dude. He was like, he don't do business with men who cheat on their wives.
Mm-hmm.
He was like,
because you cheat me.
Yeah, he's like, you made a commitment to that person. Yeah. You are in agreement with that person, and you are breaking the agreement every day. Why would I want to do business with you? Because you're gonna do the same thing. But I think, and that's the thing that I think bothers me about like the way society works and how we look at people. People give grace and they waver. I don't like me. I really try not to waver on my moral ground, where everybody is kind of held to the same level, right? Doesn't mean that everybody has to be perfect. Doesn't mean that we all don't have, some trash behaviors, or we may have had some behaviors that are a little questionable. We've all been through different things, right? But it's just like, it's a pattern. If it's a consistent pattern of you harming other people or doing things that I find that make me uncomfortable, where it's like my whole relationship with you, I'm uncomfortable to talk to you about your life because I don't want to hear your mess. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I probably shouldn't be friends with you. You probably shouldn't be in my life. Like, something is off. But I feel like we don't talk about that enough. We give people socially, we give people, it's like, we need to I want to normalize shame again.
Right, because we recently had a entertainer who died, right? And you have some people who are like, they're an icon. Like they were the best thing to this part of my life. Yeah, but they were also a racist. And that's not gonna, what happened in this space when I was 8 and I thought that you were great is not going to supersede the fact that I know that you are a racist today.
And not only a racist, you're a hater. Because look what he did to the people he worked with.
Right. And then not only that, not long before your death, you were an alligator Alcatraz. So this is who you are. And I'm not going to dismiss that because you were entertainment when I was a child.
Yeah.
What?
Because you were acting. The entertainment was the acting.
Right. This is not even real. This thing that you're doing is not even real.
That's not even who you are. Entertainment. Straight character.
Look, exactly. You have been a caricature of yourself for my entire life. And you didn't just become a racist. And the idea of is like, oh, but that's what we found out later. Well, that's who they've always been. Well, you just didn't know. They didn't change. They didn't just become this person. That's who they've always been.
You know what? Some of these folks that we call friends are caricatures too.
100%.
It just came to my mind. I was like,
I don't disagree.
I know. I'm even thinking about I was talking to a guy dating. He was
no, but it's not that. But it just made me think about what it made me think about. I can't help it.
I know, but I wasn't.
I have people like that in my life too. You know what? I actually sometimes I have a lot of empathy and a little bit of sympathy for people like that who create personas external of who they actually are. It can be hard to live like that. Like to not be able to actually authentically be yourself.
Which is why it comes to the surface at some point. It boils over.
That's why, because who they really are.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure that people didn't know. It's just that the masses didn't know, right? Because we have social media and we live in a technological age that wasn't existing in the 80s or the 90s
think about how many
or
celebrities
whatever.
were trash in the back in the day.
So it's like people in your industry and like could have known who you associate with. These are the same people that you associate with now. So these people know who you are. The public didn't know who you were.
Think about the current influencers. They're all mean girls. People talk about they're mean girls, but online they have this persona behind the scenes of these they're mean girls. Yeah. So it's like,
because social media has created a space where people can't get punched in the face easily.
Right.
And I don't condone violence, but I grew up in an era, in a time where you just couldn't say crazy shit to people.
And you think about this
without a consequence.
Yeah. But back in the day, these celebrities would sleep with each other's wives, fighting and beating each other up. We didn't know. We just saw they made great music. We had no idea they was serial cheaters and woman beaters. We just knew they made a great song because no one talked about it.
Anything else was a tabloid.
Wendy Williams came about.
Right, but then back at the older generation, what happens here stays here. So they didn't even talk about this stuff until somebody came out 30, 40 years later and said, well, when he was alive, that song was about him sleeping with his daughter. He's up, all the Curtis Mayfield, all that crazy was going on. Like, what?
And then it's a tabloid, and then it's dismissed because it's like that couldn't be.
Right. And that's why I think we should bring back shame a little bit because people need to be shamed. I need a little bit of shame because like audacity is on an all-time high. People just be out here saying and doing, and it's just like we live in a world now where you can say and do whatever you want, and there's no repercussions. And it's just like I miss repercussions.
Well, even on the Christian level,
I miss like you just be out here saying stuff to people.
But we're in this stage of like people can do and say what they want. I remember there was a meme. This girl was in the store. She's like, I work for corporate America. And they told me I'm not corporate enough. We should do what we want. And it was like, no, it's called decorum. You're in their office. They require a certain standard from you. You can't do what these ways. Like, like you said, I do and say what I want. I wear what I want. No. When you come in this office, or when you come, even with church, right? Wherever you go, people have they want a certain order.
They have expectations.
Yeah. I'm giving you this check. I want you in a shoe, a slack, and a button up. If you want to wear what you want to wear, if that's not our dress code, you have to honor the dress code. It's not what you want.
Right.
And that's why it was a recent study recently about like
sorry, I should be eating online.
Younger I'm Pat gonna talk about you because she talked about me. I think it's younger millennials and Gen Z. They can't keep jobs, right? And a lot of times, now employers are pretty much doing professional development during onboarding to teach them how to communicate, how to dress, and how to do eye-to-eye contact, like how to communicate, all those things. Because they grew up doing this.
Yep, everything's on the phone.
I tell you, working with these interns and working with the younger generation, even with the hairstyles, I'm okay with natural hair. I'm natural, but I'm like, did you look in the mirror?
Did you put any?
Did you try?
Did you brush it? Did you comb it?
No,
because I'm okay with because it's like,
listen, boomers.
That's not you outside. Period. In the office or even some of the outfits. I'm like, did you really think that was okay to wear?
Nah, it's
like
real.
Business casual does not mean casual. Business casual does not mean wear what you wear
to the gym
party to brunch. What are we doing?
I've accepted.
Yeah. No, I know I'm a little old school in that, but I just
it is what it is. I've accepted that Gen X and young and older millennials, we are the generation of judgment. We are
also we're the gap generation too because we come from traditional, so we're bridging the gap. And it's like,
Gen X.
I'm millennial,
and y'all are older millennials, right? But it's just like
I identify as Gen X.
Oh, because it's like
in this generation, you can identify as a pretzel if you wanted to.
It's like because like low key, we are the generation that have experienced everything in the world. Like we've experienced everything.
Both sides.
Like we understand what the 20th century, 21st century. Like we are all of the things, and we judge. We observe. We judge.
That also justifies your exhaustion because I think we're all
been
through a lot.
Yes,
Thank you for affirming me because I didn't think about it like that. You're right.
That don't mean don't
walking around thinking that I'm causing all this shit on myself.
It's duality. A little bit of this
self-sabotage, but it's also because of when I was born. because I've had a lot of life experience. I lived through analog. You know, I lived through dial-up.
MS-DOS.
Mm-hmm.
We had floppy disk.
Child, Oregon
Dial-up,
Trail.
AOL,
What you
right?
talking
No,
about?
not Oregon Trail. The Trail of Tears. Yo.
Real talk.
Oh my God. Remember AIM? Remember AIM?
Yes.
Oh my God. And the dial-up sound. Oh gosh.
Oh, you know what I'm see, that's the church in me because AIM, Auxiliaries and Ministry, that was our church conference.
Yeah, I can't.
That's the church kid in me. Jesus. I've been in church way too much.
We have lived through a lot.
Yeah.
We have lived through a lot.
Yeah.
So this is why sometimes I just be over it. Because I'm like, I know too much. We know too much.
That's why we have to lay down a lot. We have to take naps.
We have so much information and knowledge. It's so much.
It's information overload. I remember my man. Yeah.
We're like, no, that's real. I ain't thinking about it like that. I like that. Okay.
That's not your green light to start your shit though. Like you gotta still work on your list.
I'm gonna pop my shit regardless. Listen, it is what it is.
You know what? I'm coming.
It's coming. And when it launch, it's coming.
I appreciate your honesty.
It's coming.
There's no judgments coming with your honesty, though.
I'm gonna be judging. So judge me back. So this is what I'm trying to figure out. When I do launch, what I want to launch,
sorry.
I got to figure out what kind of person I'm gonna be online. Am I gonna be a responder, or am I just gonna be the man? Fuck these people. I gotta figure out what version.
I think it has to be a balance of it.
I think it's gonna be a combination of both.
But I also know my village.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see 1, 2, Tashana and Kima.
We're gonna be your commenters.
Oh, I can see it.
First of all, between Shauna and Kima,
something crazy in the comments.
I'm the last line of defense. You got Shauna and Kima. Like I'm at the last.
Jasmine will go back and forth with you all day.
Oh yeah,
I got Shauna.
I retired from the comment section, but it's like if them three don't, I'm like the last one you pull out the pocket because like if them three don't get you, then I'm like, oh wait, okay, like I'm gonna check the scenery out and be like,
everybody calm down.
Right. It depends what's going on. If I'm like, oh, they ain't seen this yet, then I have to, But if I see them three up front, I can sit in the back and like, I can heart something. I don't know. I'll be overkill at that point. With these three, I'll be overkill, so I'm just gonna laugh.
All right, so we got to pick which one we're gonna talk about.
Right.
Y'all
segment. All right.
Are we gonna do? I want to do 2 and 3, or 2 or 3. Which way? So 2 is grace with boundaries, and then 3 is maintaining the blessing. And then I'll tell my cruise story. We only got time for one more. So, and my story.
I can't wait to get to the story.
That is a piece of resistance that we gotta get to.
Okay.
I guess grace because it kind of ties to what we talked about first. What do you think, Jasmine?
That works.
Grace with boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
How do you give grace without betraying yourself?
I'm about to.
What? You want to do something different?
No. I'm not starting. I started the last one. You want to go?
Oh boy.
We're recording live right now, and in about 15 minutes.
I think in
tell a story that happened to me.
Many instances.
Hold on. Are you doing a story doing our live? I am. What's wrong with you?
Sorry. But if y'all want to hear,
I hope Aunt Pat see this. What are you doing right now? No. You need to be focused on the live stream right now. How you making a story doing our live? What the hell's wrong with you? Have you lost your mind? Shame. Bring shame back. What if we in the studio? What if we have a show? We got a live audience.
I literally did it. I did that on purpose because I knew you wasn't gonna be able to not do it, but I can't do it because I'm live, so I can't.
Duh. You just I'm like, you got Facebook.
Oh, wait,
I've been really mellow this whole podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait to go downstairs to get my edibles out the mailbox. Shit. Baby. Go
I'm
ahead.
sipping today.
I can't wait to get them edibles. Girl, and I got 2 kinds this time, Jasmine. I got a stress-free mind, and then I got the snoozies for when I go to sleep. Because baby,
we know how them snoozies work.
Snoozing, honey.
Jasmine MIA for like 16 hours.
Listen. All right, but go ahead. So
how do you give grace without betraying yourself?
That's been a challenge for me in these last couple of weeks, and I say that like seriously in all seriousness. And I know y'all be looking at me sideways because y'all be feeling like I be giving people a hard time. So here's my conundrum, right? There's a reality that I've been single for a very long time, that my tolerance for foolishness is like right here. There's a very little bit of space available, right? And then there's the part of me that knows that all relationships won't look at the way I imagine them to look, right? It won't be the fairy tale that I would like to have, right? So there's this like romanticized version of what a new relationship could look like, right? And I know that that's not real, right? And then there's the reality of like, I've been by myself for a very long time. So I know that my patience and my tolerance is very, very small. So I do try to give grace. But I think with the person that I have been getting to know, I feel like I'm a few days away from betraying myself. Because I had this thought over the weekend. And with consideration for the other things that he has going on, right, in his life that he's been, open about recently. It's just like, what's the point of me getting to know someone if I'm still in the same pattern that I was in before I met you? Mm-hmm. So there's been no shift in my day-to-day. There's been no significant shift, right? I can't say that we have plans. I don't know when our communication is not consistent enough. So for me, it's just like, well, what am I talking to you for? Mm-hmm. So like for the last 2 days, I'm just like, I'm good. Like if we never talked again, I'll be so fine. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason why I talked to him again after I came back from the cruise is because I was really trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, because the two of you, was telling me, give the people grace.
So I'm torn on that because I have approach with dating, right? If you ain't giving me, I have an approach with dating. So like, I follow Anwar's advice. Like if they're not setting up a date within the first, well, this is like my harsh way, like my strict dating of rules. Like if they're not setting up, they're not being intentional setting up time within the first, I give it 2 weeks, but the first week or so, we're out of here.
But you was advocating for me to give him some grace.
Because it's a little different for you.
It's a distance involved as well.
That's different. Yeah.
That's why I gave grace, because there's distance, right? And he doesn't live right here. And I actually was happy with the distance.
So how long have we been talking now?
What are we in? August?
Yeah.
6 weeks?
6 weeks.
But like 3 weeks of that, I wasn't available. Technically.
It's different because it's distance, and there's also situations that his mom is.
Yeah.
Am I telling too much?
No,
but like there was situations going on both sides. There's some grace there.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jasmine?
I'm not sure. I've been thinking about it since while we've been talking, and I'm not sure that you don't betray a little piece of yourself when providing grace. Because
you mean innately? Like
Yeah.
it comes with the giving grace.
It's
Mhm.
it seems like it's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
So like
Because
Break that
you
down.
have a boundary based off of something that offends, conflicts, whatever with you, right? So if someone goes outside of that boundary and you're providing grace, a part of you is still bothered. A part of you is still offended, even though you have extended this grace for them to be able to effectively make change. Um, so I'm not sure that there's not a little bit of self-betrayal with extending grace.
question. So is that the question for us to ask ourselves? What are you willing to betray, or what level are you willing to
And how far are you willing to
far are you
go?
willing to betray? Because like for example, I'm talking to a guy, and he's not giving the effort that I want him to give.
Mhm.
So I have to accept it for where he's at. Okay, I just know it's not going to go. It's only going to go this far, and I'm going to just allow him to occupy this time for now. Like we know we talk about men using placeholders. I'll be honest, he's a placeholder. He's a placeholder.
Mhm.
So I'm being honest with myself, and it's just a placeholder. They don't give me no more than what I want. I'm gonna use it for what it is.
Mhm.
But I'm honest with myself, I probably should just cut them off.
Mhm.
Because so I am, a part of me is betraying it, but also I'm like, I'm okay with them kind of being a placeholder until that's a whole other conversation. Because is that part of me being a placeholder because I'm still kind of unsure or uneasy about what I'm really waiting for.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, why is a placeholder okay? But we don't have to unpack that now.
Yeah.
Um,
But I'm sad with myself too. Like, why do you need a placeholder? What are you?
Can we write that down? Can you put that in your notes?
No.
Why is a don't do that? No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Damn it. No. Write it down, chick. Write it down. Why is a placeholder okay?
I didn't say it was okay. Why am I choosing to do a placeholder?
No,
I didn't
that's her
say that it was.
question. No. That was Jasmine's question.
It felt a little judgy with the finger pointing.
Oh no, it was meant to be judging. I was judging. I was absolutely judging.
I didn't watch that finger.
well, I wasn't judging. I was
Thank you,
Oh, no,
Jasmine.
you were being a professional. I'm not a social worker. I don't have to be professional. I can judge. I was being very judgmental. I love the way you said it, but I meant it to be judging. Look at her face. Look at her face.
I sat myself this morning. I said he's a placeholder. I know that. I was like, we talk about men being placeholders, women do it too. Now I'm right now I have a placeholder. And I tried to kick the ball to burner a couple days ago. I was like, this it ain't working. It's like, and then I let him stay, but I let him stay even after I said that. Because I was like, because what I want ain't really fully back into position yet.
But then I'm having another thought, right? I'm just thinking about a personal situation. So sometimes I find issue in how, similar to you, Jasmine, in how people communicate, right? So I've had conversation, and out of that, through that conversation, I gained a realization that the thing that I was asking for in communication, this person had never experienced and had never done. And there are other lines of communication that are good, right? Like we can work through that and we can talk about it. Like the hard stuff is not hard. What seems easy to me and kind of just like a second nature in communication isn't the same for the other person. But I had to realize, my gosh, what is easy to me is something that they have no experience with, right?
Mm.
So me extending grace because this person is important to me, am I betraying myself? Because if I fly off the handle, what does that do for our relationship? So it almost seems like if I was to fly off the handle, that would be a level of betrayal because it's going to impact the relationship in a way that it probably doesn't have to. if I'm really just extending this grace for you to grow. But there's also effort and growth. I think that's the other part, right? Like there has to be an effort made in this area. If you just still all willy-nilly and you're not putting any effort into making a change, then that kind of changes what this boundary is in your extension of grace. Because at some point, you're not Jesus, and grace is going to have to dry up if they're not making any effort.
Even God cuts off grace after a while. You're gonna hand over to her big mind. He's gonna do what you.
So after grace, is it the wrath?
No, it's prayer and release.
Oh, okay.
It's wrath.
I'm new to the Bible.
God, let God be the wrath part. You just
separate yourself. Yeah. That's the wrath is supposed to be him.
Remember my lesson. Learn from me, Jasmine. We don't do wrath.
No,
we don't do wrath. Learn from me.
I was talking about from God. You was like, okay, no.
You was like wrath, like you wanted to.
No. It wasn't about me. I was talking about from God, not me.
Oh,
okay. That's what you said. You got excited, like the wrath, and I was like, don't be like me.
Is that better? Like, were you waiting? Like not
better
waiting,
than me.
Like waiting for karma. I'm waiting for karma to smack you in the face. You know, because I'm not supposed to do that, right? It's supposed to be vengeance is mine.
No.
Yes, I'm like, no, no.
You're not supposed to.
I said I'm new to the Bible. God is working on me.
It's funny. There's some things you're really soft on, and other things you're like, kill them. You're like, whoa, I don't even.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I am.
I'll be like, I hope there's something to tell you, like, that's too much, and you ready for them, like, you pushed off the cliff. I
love this. You know, I'm always here for a plot twist. I love when karma hits people. I love it. Not in the place where I wanted to hurt you, but I love when people learn life lessons. Because sometimes people need to learn. They just don't learn.
I think that's also the great, but that's the grace factor too, of like what Jasmine was saying about like giving them space to learn. But what are you willing to, because even when we talk about what your needs of like communication and certain types of communication, is there like, I understand that somebody may not be there yet, but if they're willing to grow and learn with you, can you give that grace? Mm-hmm. What areas are you able to sacrifice on and be open to?
I mean, yeah. I get that. I mean, I have learned, Jasmine reminds me consistently that my level of communication is not everybody else's level of communication. Right. And I've learned that I have a very particular way of communicating, and I've grown. And I haven't always been this way, right? But I've developed an ability to have hard conversations pretty well with most people and be able to walk away not wanting to punch nobody in the face or not wanting to hate. Like I can walk away from a hard conversation and not be like, I really hope you stub your toe for the rest of the day. Like I can do that, right? But I realize that everybody doesn't communicate the way I do. And it's very challenging for me sometimes. Sometimes I feel like this is illustration. Okay. It's like I'm in a padded room and nobody can hear me. Because I'm like, it's simple. It's just a word. Just say I don't want to. Or just say I feel it. But it's crazy how people really just don't communicate what they actually feel or don't know what they actually feel. Or
it's pride. Think about my situation, my professional situation. I showed you communications like, what are you not getting? Like they can't even admit that they're wrong. Some people it's why I come to the conclusion I hope you stub your toe, because some people don't want to take the accountability. Like you explain to me every way, yo, sis, bro, what are you not getting? They don't want to get it, and they rather die in that hill. You're like, you know what? Stay there, die.
No, I recently had to tell somebody, like, I don't think that you should ask me questions anymore. I think that you should seek these answers from other people, because you consistently turn my words into something personal that's not even a thought for me. So since this is the place that you continuously want to navigate in, I'm fine with that, but I don't want to do that with you. So you're going to have to start asking other people questions, because this is not working for me.
So Jasmine had a recent experience like that where I told somebody my truth and they were committed to misunderstanding me. And I was like, this feels familiar, right? So I was like, hey, listen, this is my truth. I'm sorry that I offended you. What you're saying is not true for me. I understand that, you know, I've offended you or you're taking it this way. I get it. But again, I'm only sharing my experience. And it's my truth. I can't change how you feel about it. I have to deal with that. That's fine. And I pretty much like, it is what it is. I'm not going to over explain this thing to you. I told you what my experience is of you. I'm sorry that you don't like it. I'm sorry you feel that. I'm sorry that I did offend you. But what you're accusing me of is not true. Those are not my intentions. But I do apologize. I recognize that that it offended you. I recognize that you also are misunderstanding my intention, and I can't control that. So we're gonna leave it here. I'm not moving off my truth.
Right.
No matter what you say, 3.5 hours later, no matter what you say, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
my goal was to create a space to us to communicate. You don't want to do that. So I'm not gonna, hey, let's end it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because like I have a tendency when I'm talking to certain people and I say, what did you hear? Or if I say, that's not what I said. And then the other person says, like, one thing with me, I don't like when people, like if I'm in communication with you and we're having a conversation and you paraphrase what I said, and then the paraphrase has a different meaning because it creates a different feeling in you. So I get that may have been what you felt that I said, but can you tell me the words that I actually said? And people don't like that. And I know it's not conventional in communication, but that's the best way that I can be authentic with you. Because if I use a specific word, 9 times out of 10, I use it intentionally because I wanted to convey this what the word actually means. And I recognize that sometimes it's like, it's very challenging for me. Sometimes I'll be having.
That's where with grace is, because like somebody like me who's not big on words, you can say something and I can hear it differently. I can say like there's 2 different words. To me, it's like not because
I'm not gonna give you. You know, I'm gonna. You know what? Could you say that all the time? You're not big on words, but I don't think that's true.
I'm not big. I'm not heavy on definitions.
People see, that's the thing. That's what it is, right?
It's a definition.
This woman over here is a licensed and trained to you over here, Miss Marina Vaughn. She is a licensed and trained paralegal. She understands words very specifically, right? And people, and I'm not talking about you right now, but people have a tendency to be like, oh, with this, well, for me, it means. No, it's not what it means for you. What does the word actually mean? That's what I'm asking. Because whatever the actual meaning of the word, let's use it in that context so that we don't get confused, because everybody interprets exactly. Like relativity is important, right? Context is important, nuance is important, but I feel like some people just be looking for an easy way out.
But think about human nature, because let's think about some experience we've had. I can say something here, so that we go back to the story we tell ourselves. So it's like, it's also about like informed experiences. Like, so you can say something, but I hear something different. So when someone says to me crazy, that's a trigger for me. Now I know what crazy means, but when I hear that word, it's like I hear people call me crazy. That's just that bothers me. Or like, for example, I'll give an example, and I'm like, because I asked someone how they wanted to approach something, they took it as an insult on their capability of being a man. Never said that, but that was what they heard. So that's a part of the context, and like you say, nuance and understanding of people.
And that's why a lot of times I feel like I'm in the padded room, but something is wrong with me.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm yelling and I'm screaming like that's not what I said.
But people, like with you, people like you who are big on words, and then some people like, yeah, I use words for a living, but also like I'm not that you're bigger on it than I am. So there's something like, I don't know, it just sounds the same to me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. I think wait for you in a certain, like
because I think what you're saying, Jasmine, I think many people communicate their feelings more than what the facts are, maybe, of what you said. But I think that is also something that's taught in a way, right? Because many of us come from a generation where self-advocacy wasn't a thing, right? Like, sit down and shut up is what you got. Be seen and not heard. Speak when spoken to, right? In all of those contexts, you don't really learn how to effectively communicate. And unless you realize or you have an understanding that your communication is ineffective, you're also not going to see why to change it, how to change it. What do you do to make it different? Right? Like, I go back to this often. Growing up, I heard a lot of it's not what you say, it's how you say it, but no one ever gave me a different way to say it. It took me to be in my 30s to figure out how to communicate it differently. So, okay, I get that sometimes my words can be offensive, and that's not what I mean, but I didn't know how to communicate it any differently. I had to figure that out. But everyone is not intuitive to do that.
So
and then you have,
I'm trying to figure out, like, in those moments to give people grace. So with that understanding and that teaching and that learning that you have now, Jazz, right? And even as a, like, in dealing with clients, right? For somebody like me, who sometimes that can be a barrier to communication with certain people. It's not a barrier with me and Kiki, because me and Kiki will sit and have the same fucking conversation a million times until we understand each other. Don't close your eyes like that, Heifer. We won't talk through every bit of it until we have a clear understanding of what the other person meant. So it's not with her, but just in general, like when I kind of hit like a wall with people, and I just be like, all right, I don't want to talk to you no more. I don't have nothing else to say to you. It's like in that moment, I'm saying something, they're hearing something else because they're responding to their feeling. What would you suggest a person do in that moment? Like in my situation, or just bow out?
Sometimes that time might not be the appropriate time, because if you're high on emotion, they can't necessarily hear or receive, right? Because the emotion is blocking everything else. So that's like one thing. If you've been able to have a conversation in more of a calm state, but this person still can't ever receive, then that's a choice for you. Are you going to keep this person around or not?
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes it is like, don't get me wrong, there are deficiencies in communication, but that doesn't mean that I have to take on your deficiency.
Right.
Right. So it's like you can have an understanding of why certain things are the way that they are, but you can also say this is more than I can deal with. Right. Like I can't deal with all your deficiencies. I hope you're able to figure those out. But like it still comes back to you and like who you choose to be in relationship with or not. But it is just something to like think about. I think that starts like your grace, right? Of like all these things are not as easy for everyone as they are for me. So where are you in this? Are you able to communicate anything effectively that I'm like, okay, like I get that, like some areas are greater than others, or are you just a poor communicator all the way around? But someone who is a big communicator, poor communication as a whole is not going to work. Poor communication in specific areas might be more manageable. But that's your compatibility. Like we're not all compatible with
it's a case by case. Like you said, somebody could be stronger in some areas than others.
I have another question. And we're gonna end this if y'all ready.
I have one final point I wanted to make after your question. Okay, sorry.
So it's making me think about a couple different things because you used the word deficiency, and when you used it, I just heard Kiki telling somebody you're very deficient in communication. I don't know why I heard your voice telling somebody. I don't know. As soon as Jasmine said it, I'm like, yeah, I know she would tell. Like, how would she say this to somebody? I don't know why.
I would just say you're a bad communicator. I would say deficient.
Right? But that's the thing.
I told somebody that recently. I was like, that's not good communication.
So here's the thing, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'm very mindful because I don't like elitism, right?
Okay.
But the three of us collectively have a great deal of life experience, a great deal of education, and a great deal of like humanity, right? We are good two people. Having a conversation and telling someone you're a bad communicator, your communication style is deficient, any of those things, no matter how you slice it, it elevates our ability in that moment.
I think a bit of elitism is healthy.
But wait, wait, Kiki. Wait a minute.
Exclusivity is a real thing.
Wait,
I think there
wait. Let me get my thought. Because we're clearly saying I'm better at this than you are, right? In that moment, if you tell somebody you're a bad communicator,
I'm better than you,
or yes, that's what we're saying. But the other part about it is when the other person has lived under the assumption that they also were a good communicator, that they also are an elite communicator, that they also are emotionally intelligent.
They're emotional intelligent down here.
I would say this is like talking to, an opposition of the political party, right? Like there's no appeal, there's no reasoning, there's no appeal, there's nothing that you're going to be able to say or do to convince, right? That's similar. Like if it's just like all around all these things that happen, I wasn't put here. That's not my ministry. That's not my calling to help you get through life. That's not it.
You know what? Have it. You can take it. Have it.
So
to your point, like their 40 is not their 40. Your 40 is their 100. So like there's certain, it was like you're just not on the same level. And there's exclusive, like in luxury industry they call it exclusivity. There's a reason that there's certain levels of access, and calling yourself better than someone may sound a little elitist, but there is a certain level of elitism that comes with that. Like, you're not on my level. I require my man to be potential already. If you're in the studio still trying to start your rap career, that's not really what I'm interested in. No shade to nobody. Again, I met somebody. No, I'm not. Seriously, I met somebody that was like young, and I was like, you're not here. Or I met a guy who was like, I was on the streets and now I work for Amazon. I was like, yeah, we're not on the same level. Not that he can't be that for somebody else. He's amazing and he has great potential, but we're not on the same level ambition wise. So you know what I'm saying? It's not.
I think there's a different way to communicate that.
There is. I'm just saying it was a very blunt way of saying it. And no matter how you cut it, there's definitely a softer way of saying it. I just decided to block them. There's no need to talk to you anymore. After one conversation, we're not the same. We're in this here.
No,
there's definitely a softer way, a nicer way of saying it. I'm just kind of
this is not what I'm looking for right now in my life. This is it's different than
I'm better than you.
You're not on my level.
Oh my gosh.
No, I wouldn't say that to somebody, but that's in my mind. I'm saying
you wouldn't.
But no, I promise you, I'm not. Come on now, I'm not a freaking savage. Like I've gently told men that I can send you screenshots. I have proof that I've said to men, "Hey, I don't think I'm gonna give you example. I'm gonna do it to you right now. See, I'm not gonna do this to me. No, you're not gonna do this to me. You're not gonna do this to me, okay? Because I'm not out here just being disrespectful.
I can't.
Okay."
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell y'all that I really, really. Where is it?
This light is hot. I don't know how y'all do this. Oh my god.
Well, while I look at my proof, because y'all not gonna have me out here looking like I have to be out here telling them men that I think I'm better than them.
But that's one of the things I've been thinking about with old boy from LA.
Yeah.
Because I understand that he has a different level of work experience than I have, and he's made some career shifts, And it's just like, I've always been like someone who said like, listen, I don't really care what kind of like education you have. I don't even care how much money you make. The only thing I care about is that we are able to have like stimulating conversations outside of like sex, and that you're able to provide for yourself on some level, right? Like you're able to provide something. And I when I met him and I found out like a little bit of background about his professional history, I like a part of me was like, child, you've come too far. But you know,
Okay.
That's all.
So I have Exhibit A. You know,
Go ahead, read the exhibit.
So I had said to the person, I was joking when I've been sick, and I was like, "Hey, you didn't even ask me how I was feeling today." And their response was, "So now you want me to? How are you, Kiki? How's your day going? How?" So I said, "Don't. You can stay right there." They were like, "I've been working all day. Did you ask me how I'm doing?" So I said, "I was going on the fact that I was sick last night. I don't want you to say or do anything. That response is a lot, and I don't have the energy for it all. So we can end it here. Be well." That's all I said. If you're not giving me what I need, if you feel like I'm asking for too much, then we're not a good match. And I said, I don't think I'm asking for too much. So if that's too much for you, then we're not a good fit. See? Clear communication. This is who I am. If that's too much for you, that bothers you, then we're not a good fit. Because I'm not even asking for a lot. I'm just asking for.
What they say, comparison is a thief of joy.
Right. And the other thing I want to speak to, because you said legal professional. Remember, legal professionals, we are trained to debate and twist things. Like our job is to say, like, it's all subjective. That's our key word. So, like, you can say a word like, well, that's subjective because people look at things differently. It's all about how people read and interpret things. So, as a legal professional, I'm just saying, using that as me saying legal professional, I use words, but where we look at words and use English is very different than everyday.
Oh, so y'all be trying to manipulate conversations, basically.
To the point is to win. The point was to win the work in litigation. The point is to win. So our way is to debunk what you're saying. Like, well, yeah, that's subjective because you can say, like, when we talk about grace, what does grace mean to you versus the other person? It's a textbook definition, but we know that the human experience, everyone looks at it differently.
Yeah,
our job is to. But I'm just saying, like,
I get it. Your job is to manipulate the
not
conversation,
pretty much. So.
Somebody tried that with me the other day, and they was like, "It's relative." I said, "We're not doing semantics here, because you know what the word means in the dictionary. We are not going to play semantics. We're not going to have a conversation about subjective and relative. We're talking about what is the mean."
Imagine trying to explain to an attorney that they're disrespectful and like show me your email like that. I don't see that. Of course, you're not going to say it's subjective. You can read an email. You can read it the way Jasmine writes. Jasmine can write the same email, but I know how Jasmine talks to me, so I'm going to read it differently. But if somebody else talks to me a different way, I know the tone in which you're speaking to me because it's the cadence in which we built with each other. So if it's coming from Jasmine, I know she's coming to the same way because that's how she shows up. For someone else who has a history of being an asshole, condescending, when they write it, that you hear it. Like you said, you can hear me saying something because you know how I talk. So let's not play that game of I don't see that. Of course, you're not going to see it because it's subjective. So you know what I'm saying. So
that's
yeah.
All right.
Oh, it's fist bump time. Power up, guys.
Wow. Wow, that was intense. Oh, y'all was waiting. It was a little bit in unison. That was kind of scary. Kiki, did you have anybody else join your stream? Yo, you know my nerves. All right, so it's story time.
Oh, Jerome's here. Hey, Jerome.
Hey, Jerome.
Lord.
All right, y'all. So I went on a cruise with my family. It was a 7-day cruise to Bermuda. And I was on one of the days on the cruise, I was having cocktail and some food by myself. And I noticed this guy, and I said to myself, I know him from somewhere. I just couldn't place where I know him from. Anyway, so trip happened, whatever. I seen him again, still didn't think anything of it. So one of the days when we were docked in Bermuda, me and my family had took a trip into the city, a little shopping or whatever. And we were coming back to get the ferry. We were in line to get the ferry, and I noticed him in the line. So I had to kind of get like some clarity because we was unsure where the ferry line was at because there was a lot of things happening. So I went to get clarity, of course, because they asked me to do it, right? I'm the group leader. So I go over there and he's in the same line. So I said to him, I was like, hey, were you in this particular movie, such and such, or whatever, whatever? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I like that movie. That was a really good movie. You know, when we started talking about, because it was a Christmas movie, and I love Christmas movies. If you know me in real life, you know I love a good Christmas movie. So I was like, yeah, I love Christmas movies. He was like, me too. I was like, I noticed you before. I was like, but you know, I just figured I knew you, like it was some Brooklyn shit or whatever. And he was laughing. He was like, yeah. He's like, I'm from Brooklyn, actually. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we started talking, just basic, like, hey, how you doing? What's your name? He introduced himself, gave me his name, everything. Now, his mom is standing there and she turns around and she's like, oh, you saw him in yada yada this and yada yada, and did you see him in this? And I was like, no, I haven't seen those things because I don't, these particular shows, because I don't want nobody looking. Okay, so these particular shows are very popular. They're very popular. He was in a couple of them. And I was like, no, I don't really watch those shows. And she was like, oh, because he was in this and that. I was like, oh, that's dope. And I thought it was so dope that his mom was like so supportive of him. Right. Also because they're West Indian. And I know how, you know, certain parents from different cultures be like, my son needs to be a doctor, a lawyer. You know, like I know what that looks like culturally. And I was just really impressed of how like supportive they were. And then the father turned around. It just became a whole family conversation. It was really cool. Don't start with the It was really cool. It was a great conversation. We all got on the ferry. Him and his family, they sat in front. Me and my family were behind. Didn't say nothing else. Cool. Later on that evening, also there was another young woman with them. She joined in the conversation, but very briefly. So then later on that evening, we were on the ship. And on the ship, they have like this area called the atrium where they like inside the ship, well, you know, they play like the big movies or whatever the case may be. And it's also right across from a bar. So I'm sitting there and I noticed him walking. I don't know where he was going, but I was sitting, you know, with a couple of family members watching the movie or whatever. And I noticed him walking and then he walked over to where I was and he was going to the bar. So he wasn't coming to me, but he was going to the bar near where I was. So I was telling him, I was like, oh, they're closed. He was like, oh, I'm just going to get some wine. I was like, okay, cool. So then I was like, oh, you look nice. You know, like you guys going to take pictures or something like that. He was like, oh no, I'm about to do an audition. I was like, on the ship? He was like, no, I got to record an audition. So then I looked over and I saw the same young lady that was with him at the ferry. So me and her start talking because her birthday was the next day. And, you know, she was born in under the.
We don't care about her. We don't care about her.
Oh, wow.
No. Oh,
anyway, we're having a conversation. Oh, yeah, I swear I can't stand this girl. So me and her are talking. And then he's like, yeah, you know, she's going to record for me. And then she turns around and looks at me. And she's like, oh, that's my brother. And she came out. I didn't ask. She just shared. Oh, that's my brother. I was like, oh, I was like, it's nice to have help. So we started talking about, you know, a little content creation. I gave them a little bit of my background. Like, oh, yeah, you know, I've worked in entertainment and this, and whatever. So it was cool. Great conversation again. He goes off. They're supposed to be doing the audition. I'm still with my family. Of course, my family is all, you know, who's that, whatever, but I ain't even getting to that. Cool. The night goes on. Later on, a couple hours later, I'm at the elevator and he comes up the steps. But I'm getting on the elevator with one of my little cousins. And I tell my little cousin, go ahead. I'll see you in a little bit. Because when he walked up, like he was stopping to communicate again. So I was like, okay, cool. He wants to chat again. So we chatting. So we start chatting. Yo, I hate both of y'all so much right now. I can't stand either one of y'all. So we start chatting, and he tells me about the film that he just finished the audition for. We talk about that. You know, I'm like, oh, that's dope. It was a great, like, he was just very open, but he never said anything like, you know, remotely like subjective or like, you know, it was just a very open and friendly conversation. Now, I'm speaking from hindsight when I say this. In hindsight, the person that I normally am would have been like, hey, let's exchange information. You know, let's keep in contact, right? I didn't do that. I don't know why. I really don't. I don't know why I didn't do that. So I wished him well. I said, good luck on the audition. I hope you get the role. At the end of the conversation, Oh my God. At the end of the conversation, I gave him a fist bump. And then I got on the elevator and I never saw him.
I bet I know. You want to know why I didn't see him again?
Because I blew it.
You gave a fist bump. That man had sought you out. How many times in that shit? And you gave him you pretty much friend zoned him with that fist bump. You
I have a question. Who in life do you normally fist bump that your default went to this? Like what?
What?
Who do you do that with?
She glitched. Clearly, she glitched.
I don't know.
Who fist bumps?
This is not the pandemic when people weren't touching.
Like with elbow bump. She elbow bumped him. Huh. Hey, buddy. Hey, pal.
That's what y'all they been waiting all week for this shit.
This story has been.
Jerome said.
Jerome,
oh. And every time I remember she told this too, they was like, "Nah, you're bugging." No matter how she tried to play a really pretty picture just now, like, "Oh, you fist bumped this man."
My god sister tried to give her a bailout the other day. She was really, really trying, but
she's trying.
My sister tried too.
Until she got more perspective.
She got more perspective. She said, "Well, you probably just didn't find him attractive." I said, "No, he was attractive." She said, "Oh, well, bitch, I tried." She was like, "I thought maybe you seen him as the homie." I was like, I mean, I wasn't thinking about it. I don't know. I just.
And so because the sister also clarified, "Oh, I'm his sister," so she saw, like, be clear. He's that you got the clear, alley, whatever you want to do, clear shot, and you said. Crazy. That's what makes it even worse. The sister was like, "Oh, I see what's happening here."
Right.
Don't worry.
That's my brother. Good. Like, don't even
go off, sis.
Don't even consider me. You said that's my brother too.
Power to the people.
I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna live this one down.
She did look. So Dr. Bell said, "Look him over IG." She did, but I think he's already hurt now. Did you send me a message on IG? Oh, sorry.
I did send him a message on. I sent him a message on IG. I actually know someone who knows who's familiar with his sister, and I actually know his. I found like it's funny because once I got home, I followed him because I realized what I did, and Jesus.
Would you shoot your shot? Like.
I sent a message.
What'd you say?
I don't know if he's ever going to get it. So to me, it wasn't, I don't know. All I know is that I would never do that again. Consciously. I know that I wasn't supposed to do that.
Were you drinking? No, were you sober at that time?
I'm on a cruise ship. I mean, none of us are really sober the whole time on a cruise ship. I was coherent. I know, like, after I did it, I said, "What the fuck was that?" When I got in the elevator and the doors closed, I said, "Yo." Like, I said it to myself in the mirror. I was like, that's why I immediately text y'all.
Why don't you? I mean, but did you shoot your shot on the DM? He's like, "Hey, it's me from the ship." He's like, "Hey,
I said,
no, I fist bumped you, but I didn't say I fist.
Okay, okay. I just said, I sent a message. I don't know if he's ever gonna reply. He has a nice.
Do you know what a sitcom is? Do you know what necessarily when it comes to shooting your shot?
I already know that I'm a living, breathing sitcom. I already know.
I'm saying, do you know what shooting your shot is? Because I'm just kind of bringing it back.
I caught it.
You caught it? All right.
But you know what I will say? I've been having my challenges, personally or whatever, with the weight gain and all of these different things. And I'm gonna say this about when I was on the ship. On the ship, I was giving looks. I just want to say that. I was in my zone. I was giving looks.
He saw.
Clearly,
I
that's why he
cool.
was right, Jasmine. That's why he was smoking her
He
because she was on his own.
He saw the looks.
That's why he was there.
And you said grand closing.
Right. He wasn't thinking about no weight gain. He had no problem. He didn't think about nothing. He was like, oh, she's pretty. Here's a fly girl. And you said,
yeah, I know. I mean, you live and you learn.
You ain't got much time to do all this fooling around. Get it together.
Kiki. Oh, you've been waiting. Oh, you've been waiting. Y'all been waiting since June 20th when I got back for this. So y'all got it. Y'all got it.
I mean, this is just good.
I don't have an explanation. I don't even have a reasoning. I don't know where I was when I did it. Like I just, Uni was like, that man deserved so much more than a fist bump. He said he was nice and friendly. Even like if he was just, he could have been on some like Hollywood shit. He was so cool.
Yeah.
You fist bumped him. I was like, I know, I'm just terrible.
Well,
moment of deficiency.
What she said?
You got a moment of deficiency.
I did. I was deficient. I glitched.
We give grace. We give grace.
Yeah, you definitely glitched. You definitely glitched.
It happens to the best of us.
And and I mean, and at least I was honest and forthcoming because I ain't have to tell y'all that shit. I could have took that to my grave.
We appreciate that.
But that in a sitcom, play out in a show.
That's a whole scene.
That's it.
When I sat on my bed, when I got to my room, I was like, I just wrote another episode of my life.
that was just a scene. That wasn't even a whole episode. That was just a scene in the episode.
Yeah, like
because that would
have been like when I got on the elevator and the door closed. That'd have been the end of the episode. Because the episode would have started from the first time I saw him.
Yeah.
On the ship, and then when I realized where I knew him from,
and then the next episode would be us sitting around laughing at you in the fist pump. Like, what was you doing?
Yeah.
This is it. I make a T-shirt. You gotta make a T-shirt of a fist pump.
Comedy. Oh, now you want to make T-shirts based on my glitches? Oh, that would be a good idea though. I glitched. That's why. That's all the shirt got to say. I glitched. That's why.
No, fist bump is a better representation of the glitch.
No, in the back would be the fist. The fist bump would be in the back.
Okay.
And then the front would say I glitched. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. I can't deny it. I mean even if it wasn't anything, whatever it could have been. I definitely it was opening.
Yeah, it's kind of late to unpack that because also like you being able to understand that someone's actually like into you and like
that's another thing I do have. But I have challenges in that area. I'm not always aware when people are like interested. Flirting. Yeah, I don't really catch it. I don't. Oh,
I just thought about that. The cobbler, right?
So
it came back to me real quick.
I forgot about the cobbler too.
I did too. It came back to me. It literally just came back to me.
Yeah, I mean, I
made the connection. See, this made the connection.
Yeah, no. So I picked that up. Like I definitely have like awkward black girl moments, like 100%. Like I definitely have awkward black girl moments. And you know what it is? On some level, I am shy. On some level, and I also am very sociable. Like I'm a social person. Like I can communicate and have fun and laugh and joke with everybody. But I think I don't always see when other people are like attracted to me. You know what I mean? Like romantically or like they're attracted. You know what I mean? Like I don't think like that. So I be just thinking I'm having conversations with people. It's just like, you got to say something really clear to me. You got to be honest. You got to be very direct with me.
Jasmine, do you agree with this that most men don't engage unless they are attracted to some level? On some level, not all, but most men initiate because they are attracted to you.
Are there any men on your end, Kiki? Because I want to ask, this is a question we're going to put on the chat. Because I want to know, is it me? Do men like, like...
It's you.
It's you. We've talked about this before. They're not nice for no reason. They're nice.
But I mean, to get clarity, from more sources outside of us, I think is great. I think it's great research for you.
Well, yeah, you can put a poll up if you want.
It don't even have to be like anything like, it's just like, okay, so can I play devil's advocate for myself?
Sure.
So just like we talked 3 times, he didn't ask me for any, information or to stay or in contact, right? So,
well, maybe because you fist bumped him, so it closed the conversation off.
That was the end of it. We had already talked 3 times. You knew that.
No, because I said that to you though. I was like, I mean, he could have said something himself. I did say that to you.
Okay.
But I mean, we focused more on the fist bump because it's funny and unbelievable at the same time.
And I also I hear a lot of men say they are not comfortable approaching women nowadays. A lot of
I've
times.
heard that too. Yeah.
Yes.
Because of the way the world is, and he seemed like a pretty decent dude because it's like even like working in entertainment and being someone for me it used to just be second nature. Like hey, let's just exchange information. And I guess at some point I stopped doing that because that normally that would have been like my first, like what's your Instagram or what's your, like how do we contact? And I didn't even like from a networking perspective, it didn't even cross my mind to say that. Like I was.
Think about today's society and him being someone that works in a certain space. He might be like, he may open it up, but then it's like, now I feel like they have to be careful how they initiate certain things and conversations. That's one part, considering who he is. And 2, it's like, I think it's okay to be like, hey, I really enjoy talking to you. Let's exchange. I think it's okay if he started it. It's okay for also maybe him open the door to let you say,
yeah,
I like to get to know you better. I think because men are less inclined to go all the way up. I've heard it from too, like go all the way through with it because they're afraid of women get like I didn't act. Women nowadays with the culture, it's you cross the boundary. They're very scared of women how they respond to even you coming on to them. It's a very different world we live in. So
that's real because he did share things like I know the next movie that he just auditioned for. Like I know, like you know what I mean. Like we had a great conversation. I thought he was really cool.
He connected. He felt comfortable with you.
Stop sharing because this is not making it any better. Let's leave it where it's at. Don't give the people any more information.
Remember when I was trying to justify the overlap? You think it's an overlap? And I was trying to say it's not an overlap, but it's an overlap from the last podcast. Like it's overlap.
Well, you were trying to say something that's not true. Okay, and I gave you grace. I gave you at least a good 3 minutes to figure it out for yourself.
It wasn't 3 minutes. Also.
It was long enough.
No,
but you was trying to make it. You were trying to make it not an overlap when you had already used your words yourself, sis. It was an overlap. It's okay.
Okay, so just accept your L.
I take it. I wear it proudly. I didn't have to be honest with y'all. I really told y'all the whole story.
You could have died in shame. You could have.
I definitely could have kept this to myself and just.
You could have. But I appreciate the fact that you shared it with me.
Yeah, because I really do want to be better. Like I really want to grow.
Good friend, Jasmine.
And this is how crazy this one over here is. It took her to the next day till she realized she said something that day, but the next day, I guess when it really clicked, she was like, "The fuck?
Who?
You? Yeah. Like she was like."
I was doing something. I couldn't really process what you said.
You see when the math, the
equations are coming together.
And that's just like,
wait,
what? But yeah, like I'm really trying to grow. I'm really trying to be better. I don't want to be a cat lady. I don't like animals, but you know what I mean. I want to peel back the layers of this.
Jerome is so kind.
What he said?
He said, take the L, never a loss, always a lesson.
Thank you, Jerome.
Oh, that is nice.
That's so nice.
You're such a hater. I really want to grow. I want to grow. I want to learn. I want to peel back all of my layers because I think that's the only way I'm going to really meet and be able to like really appreciate and engage in like real partnership. because I recognize that I have created my own little bubble sanctuary that I'm very comfortable in. I don't let a lot of people in. My house is very quiet, peaceful. I like it like that. But I know I got to peel back layers, and I know I need to get back outside.
Jasmine, do you think when she says that, do you think like also give herself grace and like don't feel like you have to do all before you're ready to, like that can be also a process in relationship or as you're dating people. Don't feel like you have to do all before you're out there. Like it's a process. Like don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, like don't put too much pressure on yourself. But I mean, you also have to take some type of action. You know, faith without work is dead.
Yeah, there's
you know,
action,
so
but
it's
don't
like,
you gotta do all the peeling before you.
Yeah, no, not all of it, but you do got to go outside. I'm glad you recognize that.
I mean, outside. Like she need to go outside. Like, she need to go outside.
I go outside now. Like I do go outside. Like I'm going outside next week. You know, I'm going outside.
It's Monday. You going outside next week?
I'm on a budget.
You got kids at the house?
I just came on vacation. I
was
on for 7 days in a balcony suite by myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's also not like New York summers where it's just a bunch of stuff to do.
I mean, she's also in a very busy city. It's not New York, but it's also
it's very busy, and you know, I'm really trying to pace myself. So
she's not in Dayton, Ohio. She's not in Dayton, Ohio. There's a lot of people out there.
I might go out this weekend. Oh no, I do gotta go out. I gotta go out Friday. I'm gonna get my nails done.
No, we're not talking about going to a nail salon. Don't piss me off. We're talking about finding community. We're talking about establishments that have people like you there.
Okay, so okay, I can tell you what I did do. Wait, I'll tell you what I did do. I put myself on a waiting list for this Black girl mixer thing. To go, they were doing like a pottery and like wine sip thing.
We're not looking for sisterhood.
I was gonna say with other women.
We're looking for men.
That's good. That's good. I mean, that's good. That's fun. You need that too. You do need sisterhood. You do need
maybe one of the women know a man that they could introduce me to. No.
I mean,
but
we want to direct. We want a pipeline.
Yeah.
So we go to a sports bar for happy hour.
Yes.
Yo, you see her eyes? Like, what is happening?
What are we talking about?
That works. Men will be there.
There aren't there like Black bars out there that have like vaudevilles with their men are at.
I have been to some before.
How long ago was that?
I'm gonna leave it right there.
Right. Well, thank y'all for joining us tonight. It's been great. Great. Hope you had a great weekend. I hope you have a great week ahead. Thank you once again for tuning in. Thank you, Jasmine, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Jasmine, for real. Appreciate you. Anything else you got? Anybody? Any closing thoughts? Any closing?
I'm gonna do better.
We're all work in progress.
So wait, let me ask you. What happened?
We're all a work in progress.
We're all a work in progress. So I just want to say, just asking like from y'all opinion and whoever's still like on the live. I did send a message to like, you know, possibly reconnect or at least keep a, you know, open line of communication open. It's a fair, I don't have to do anything else, right? Nothing else needs to be done on my end. I can't do anything else.
Okay, no. Else you can do. You've done enough.
Okay, cool. Just make sure. That's all.
What if he does respond? What are you gonna do?
Well, that'll be for another episode. I'll let you know. I don't know.
To be continued.
To be continued.
Keep us updated.
Yo, in the streams, I can say what I really want to say.
Nah. Say it right now. No. Good night, y'all.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.